there, everyone. Welcome. We're here. A live stream, Fantasy for the Ages. I'm Jim the Father. You probably know that already. This guy
I'm
here.
Bob. I'm new here.
Bob. Nice to
Don't
meet
mind
you.
me. I won't be sticking around.
You doofus. That's right. Bob, go away. Now, where's my son, Zach? Yeah.
Hi, right here. How you doing?
Hey. I'm doing well. So we're here today. We don't do a lot of live streams, but we are today because we have reason to celebrate. We hit 1,700 subscribers, which is very cool.
Love that. Love that.
Numbers keep counting. I'm looking forward to hitting 2,000.
That'd be big.
That's a big milestone. And it won't take very long because we keep adding numerous subscribers every day now. The snowball is rolling and getting bigger and bigger. Yes. But the other milestone is one that most people don't care about. It's just exciting for us, but I'll explain why they should care. And that's we monetized here on YouTube. So YouTube has a formula that when you build up enough watch hours in a 365-day period, they start paying you for putting content up here. We get a cut of YouTube's profits. It's not like we're going to be rolling in any kind of dough, but a little bit of money.
It won't hurt being able to make sure to keep costs down and keep things coming out.
That's it. So I have no idea. It's so brand new for us now and kind of insane because we're still just doing this because we love doing this. We love talking about fantasy and sci-fi and nerdy stuff and getting together. And even when you're not able to get together, I still keep hobbying and putting content out here that people will talk to me about.
I did definitely have the thought earlier this week. I was like, we're gonna have to figure out how to put this on taxes. Like, it won't matter. It won't be enough to matter. But we'll have to figure
for a while. No. But a key thing to it is when YouTube does decide, out of its great beneficence, to give us a little bit of the money it's making, it offsets all the money that I do put into this. The software to run our shows, the hardware for, microphones and a green screen. I thought you were just
talking about books.
So we can continue to do this without it starting to wear on the resources. So that's great. And YouTube only does it because you out there are watching it, including those of you who have joined us here live now. Thanks for being here. See, we've got a few people watching, and I'll keep an eye on the chat in case anybody jumps in and says something. If they got questions or things, we'll try to take them as we go. But we are here to kind of do some entertaining content with some randomness, Zach. So I've got some questions, some topics for us to go through. I shared them with you.
Yeah, I've got some wrong answers.
The first is just one of those weird icebreaker topic questions you can throw out at a party. If you had superpowers, what would they be and how would you use them?
So mine's real low stakes. Doesn't matter. Because of how I use them, not because of what it is. What it is terrifying depending on how you use it. I'm definitely a fan of time dilation. It doesn't need to be like super time travel. Nothing super crazy. But able to just like, no, time's just gonna go really, 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 really slow for everyone, but I don't experience it that way. And then fix it. And or vice versa, make time go really, really, really fast, but I don't experience it that way.
This is making my brain hurt. Explain more, please. It's very sci-fi.
Just like I'm in a little bubble, and where I am, I still get to pass time. I still get to do normal things. So but Wayne. Outside of that bubble, a minute went by.
You're Wayne.
A little bit, but both directions of that. But the best part being, like, if I'm really, really anxious, waiting for something, like I want something to come out sooner or whatever, just speed up time. Okay. It's great. But the other way around, if I'm getting to a really good part in a book, but I know I have to get to work, I don't have to worry about it. I just slow things down. I take all the time I want to read the book. Then I go to work.
Dude, you will be so doomed. You'll be that person who has a book to finish. And it's at night, and instead of going a few 2 hours late, you just will stop time. You'll still spend all that time.
No, but that's
exhausted.
No, that's the great thing. because I go to sleep while time's still slow. Back up.
Uh,
I've got plenty of time in my day. The only
okay.
thing to figure out here is, do I still age by the time I experience or by real time? I'm hoping real time because I'd love to not be a 90-year-old, 30-year-old.
You're making up the superpower. I think you should make it up without the flaws that you
Yeah,
don't.
yeah.
Totally.
Anyways, what you got for me? And please don't say flight.
Of course, it would be flight, but partnered with invulnerability. Because so many of these things we see of people flying out there, their bodies can't handle what they're doing. They would die. The shifts of direction, the landings, it would be totally unsurvivable. I'd want it all to be survivable. So I can fly any elevation, I could fly into space, I can do the Superman landing, and it's all good. Who wouldn't want to fly with no consequences?
I got nothing like super against it. I just don't see the point. I don't need it. I don't need it.
Now, I'd also have built into my flight superpowers a shield, a clear shield bubble that just sits right ahead of me to keep the bugs out of the way.
Now, on the one hand, that's like you've got like 6 superpowers in there at this point. But on the other hand,
Hey, I'm not alone. Mark is flying.
you're not alone.
Too.
It's like one of the most common things people say when they want superpowers.
Because it's popular.
But we did say superpowers, plural, not superpower.
Yes.
You're not limited here. Just have fun with it.
Now, how I would use it, well, just primarily for fun. But I do like to travel. I need one more superpower to make it really useful, though. And that would be the ability to extend that protection, that invulnerability to anyone I carry. So then I could take your mom with me. We could go to Paris, we could go to China, we can go anywhere we want, and she's just fine.
See, here's the thing. I could do that too, and it takes me less time than it takes you. I just have to like walk it.
But I have a better view along the way.
Maybe. Right. My eyesight's not that good.
Oh, dang it. I should have added that superpower too. All right. What's your favorite character from a fantasy or science fiction book or series? There's so many to pick from.
There's a lot here. So there, it's like, I think I'm just gonna throw some grab bag, some ones that are some of my favorites.
Okay.
I don't think I have a singular favorite from a singular
you're not
series.
Gonna boil it down. All right.
Part of the thing is sometimes I really love a character for how they exist in that world. But in a different world, I might not like them as much. But some of my favorites to throw out there. Wheel of Time, we got to mention them. So Matt Cawthon's my favorite.
Matt Cawthon, yeah.
I'm a big Matt guy. Jump over to some sci-fi, get Red Rising in here. I'm a Severo guy there.
You're a who?
Severo.
Severo.
So
man.
I
couldn't pick Severo as a favorite.
Second,
wow.
Like not quite sidekick, but main character sidekick. That's my comfy place. I like it. There's a lot of things I like about Severo.
He's a flawed character, so
I love a flawed character.
Yeah, but to be your favorite character,
flawed characters are a lot of my favorites.
Wow. Well, then you'll like one of mine because Harry Dresden is one of my favorite, and you think he has lots of flaws.
I think he has lots of flaws. He's not one of my favorites. Oh.
I also give a shout out to Kaladin from the Stormlight Archive. Kaladin,
he's a flawed character.
He's flawed. He has anxiety and depression issues. He's got some what's the word I want? Biased against certain types of people.
Prejudice.
Thank you. He's got prejudices that he works under.
He's got a number of things that he's working through.
But still, there's a lot to love about Kaladin.
Yeah, Kaladin the Paladin.
Especially since I'm rereading The Way of Kings right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If we are going some Stormlight stuff, there's some that call out to me as absolute favorites, including Sophrena and Nightblood.
Yeah, you and your Nightblood thing.
Nightblood's the best.
Should have just stopped right there. Just said Nightblood. Favorite character. Bam. Mic drop.
I'm not saying that he would make any other series and character better, but he would. Put him in
Another
Harry
one of my
Dresden's hands for you. I'm sure you would get a kick out of it.
another one of my favorite characters is one I mentioned earlier because of your speed bubble, Wayne from Mistborn Era 2. Wayne cracks me up.
Wayne's not that high on my list for me. He's
Oh,
okay. I enjoyed his story, but he doesn't go down in the history of some of my favorite characters ever.
okay. I am almost done with Malazan Book of the Fallen, Stephen Erickson. I've got
Nowhere near.
a lot of characters in there to enjoy, and one that is definitely one so far that I've continued to enjoy thoroughly is, well, it's kind of a duo, Fiddler and Hedge. I don't even know if you know who those are yet.
I think I know at least one, if not
You've
both.
probably met them both, but how much it focused in on them, I don't know.
They're both from the Bridge Runner crew, right?
They're both Malazan sappers from the Bridge Burners, yeah.
I do know them. I was like,
Okay.
wait a second, I know these names.
You'll see more of them. They're entertaining.
Spoiler, they're going to be alive.
That's a good. Oh,
or are they?
That kind of thing is.
It is one of those series that it
can
get a little wishy-washy. Yeah.
People who know Malazan are laughing their butts off right now with what you just said.
Oh, other more recent favorite for me. So I can't stick with it forever. I don't know the full extent yet. But last night I finished Malice. So getting Faithful and Fallen. Storm is a favorite.
Okay.
Because we love a good boy.
Absolutely.
Even if it's a good girl, it's a good boy.
A lot to love with that one. Yep. But let's jump back to Malazan now.
Okay.
You are slowly reading.
Yeah, I'm about a book and 2 chapters in.
A book and 2 chapters. So 2 chapters into Dead House Gates.
Correct.
You barely started Dead House Gates.
Yeah, I started it a few months ago and I haven't touched it since.
And nothing really significant has happened yet in just 2 chapters.
In that book? No. In the previous one, sure.
Oh yeah, a lot of things happen in Gardens of the Moon. But I wanted to probe for thoughts and theories of what do you think this whole Malazan Book of the Fallen is about with only a book and 2 chapters consumed.
Okay. So...
And for those who don't know, there's 10 books in the core series.
Big possible spoilers. I'm just throwing this out there because I don't know a thing.
It can't be a spoiler when you're just guessing, okay?
No, but I am going to mention like characters and things that I know through the first book at least. So,
sure,
and
but
some
just
like
speculating,
possible speculations.
And I won't spoil anything.
So Empress Lady,
Empress Lady,
real bad.
Empress Lady, real bad. Okay,
but relatively like normal bad. The bad that I expect from a book like this. The bad that I expect of fantasy stuff. Greedy, power serving, saw position power, did some things, and really screwed over the Emperor husband vibe.
Emperor Kalinved.
Yeah, and we know something fishy happened there, and we don't know what exactly happened. But she's in charge of the Empire now, and he's like dead. But I don't think he is, and I don't know if this is confirmed. But I think that's about the same time that we get some weird, different. What are they called? Not realm things. Barrows.
Warrens.
That's it.
Okay.
So somehow, some way, instead of death, became kind of a Lord of Deathy things. Emperor became Shadow Throne. His right hand and fighter assassin-y things becomes Rope, who is right hand of Shadow Throne.
So Dancer becomes Rope, is what you're saying.
Sure.
That was the name of his right-hand guy that you referenced.
Then yes. And to a certain extent, we've got that grudge back towards Lysine, and that continuation where she's still trying to further her aims of like world domination.
Typical
but now
fantasy
he's
there.
like,
okay.
Hey, I didn't die, and I'm going to ruin you.
Point of clarification, you did call or seem to mention that she was his wife, and that's a confusion.
Is it not?
No.
She was just somebody and then became the
She
Empress?
was one of the important people in the court.
Gotcha. I was under the impression that it was Emperor and Empress, and then she just like knocked him out so that she had total control.
No, she was a very important piece of his ruling house, but no, she was
That
not.
feels more better.
More better. Okay.
But then there's also the funkiness of like old magic things and reawakening things, and then new blood and new gods being born kind of thing. And it's kind of like there's a whirlwind of unsure changes within the world of magic and gods that is being furthered and continued by this more material struggle. And we will see play out further, ending up having like bigger impacts on the world until both these struggles kind of coincide in the same way and manner.
Okay.
I think I'm totally wrong, but I don't think I'm that far off on some things.
No, it all sounds really interesting. Maybe that is what happens as you keep reading.
The one thing I'm most excited to see is someone that I don't know if they're going to appear in this book. I don't know if they're going to appear for 5 books again.
Sir, not appearing in this film. Sorry, that was a Monty Python reference now.
Guy with his name's like Riddick or something, or Rallick, or he was a like assassin-y guy in Davrujistan or wherever it is. And he put on the anti-magic powder that wasn't supposed to touch his skin. And now he just like is anti-magic or something weirder. And he went into a dead house gate. That just, the dead house just appeared. It just is there now. And I don't know if he's going to be back for many books, but when he's back, it's going to be big.
Okay. Good.
I like him. I want him. Yeah.
Well, that's enough. That's good. Thank you. Those who have read Malazan thoroughly enjoyed everything you just said.
They're definitely laughing at me.
Some, not all. But all that you just said, doesn't that make you want to read more of this series?
See, here's the problem. The reason I'm not reading it has nothing to do with the series and everything to do with the fact that I'm reading it on my phone.
Well, perhaps you should shift.
I mean, I've got the whole series on my phone because I got it for a good price. That's
I'm
why
reading it on my phone, my iPad, the Kindle app. It's worked for me that way, but
I just would so much rather have a book and like a nice flop.
All right, new random question. Let's go a different direction.
Where are we going?
Well, that is the question. Where are you going? If you could live anywhere in the world except the United States, since we already live there.
Okay.
Where would it be? Where would you choose to live and why?
You first.
Ooh, me first. I would probably, and this is going to be boring, but I would probably choose to live. I would have said the United Kingdom, but Brexit makes that more complicated. So I'd probably choose Germany.
Okay.
And the reason I'd choose Germany is not only that Germany has this rich history, and I have studied German, so I'd be able to pick it back up without too much difficulty. Besides, everybody speaks English anyways. But I could travel all over Europe very easily when I'm living in Germany. You could still do that from the United Kingdom, but it's not, they left the EU, so it's not as smooth anymore. But I could more easily go visit the United Kingdom still when I'm in Germany. But all the places, all of the, the Norway, Sweden, Finland, I can get up there without a problem. I can get down to Italy and Spain and France and all these places. Very cool. Lots of history, lots to love. How about you?
Well, depending on where in Germany you ended up, there's a good chance we would end up as close or closer in distance than we are right now.
We could
Because
live in two different spots in Germany, pretty much no matter where they are, and we'd be closer than we are now, I think.
just about.
Mhm.
I'm not going to Germany though.
Okay.
Rather, I'm going real close, right on the edge. Salzburg, Austria.
Okay.
It is beautiful. I've been there a couple of times. Always loved it. It's hands down, like I continuously say, one of my favorite places aesthetically on the planet.
You make it sound like you're such a world traveler. I've been there a couple of times.
No, I just have been to Europe a couple of times, and both of those times, that was one of the stops on the tour of whatever we were doing, be it a student exchange thing we were doing, or my choir trip when we went over there. Happened to end up in Salzburg, and I was very happy for it. But no, it's absolutely beautiful. Has a small town, quiet vibe while still having some things to be able to do, and being close enough to things that you could go to other places and things. It's a place I could easily see myself like go retire and just like enjoy my life and read. I have a favorite pub already.
Hey.
I think it's a cool dynamic place built into a wall thing too. It's nice.
Okay.
Yeah, easy money for me.
There it is. Now, if you caught me on a different day, there's another option I'd give you. Because if I'm in that, oh, I really don't like winter mode, St. Kitts, Caribbean island, sit there enjoying the cool island breezes, glass of rum, a book. Life is good. The laid back. Every time I visit St. Kitts, I've been there, I think 3 times now. It's just so relaxing and peaceful.
Okay, this is one of those dumb moments where I have to be technical and ask a question. Is that one of the ones that's technically a U.S. territory?
No, no.
Okay, I just had to ask because I know there's a couple of those, and you said no U.S. So
Yeah, St.
just had to
Kitts and
come
Nevis
bring
is
the
its
rules
own
in.
island nation, 2 different islands. They might be part of like the Netherlands or something, but I think they're
They might be
completely
their own independent
freestanding
thing.
these days.
No idea.
Yeah. Okay, so that was a fun one. Now let me jump back into a fantasy fiction related question.
Okay.
I am looking in the coming months. It's on
Okay.
my newer section of my TBR to give Legends and Lattes a try by Travis Baldree.
Okay.
You've read it.
Yeah.
Will I enjoy it?
It's a fairly quick, easy read.
It's
Easy to
totally
digest
different
kind of thing.
style, though, from other things I've read. I understand.
Well, and here's the thing. I think you're going to enjoy it well enough. I think you're going to read through it and probably not struggle reading it too much just because it just kind of goes pretty fast.
Mm-hmm.
But then the moment you're done with that book, you're going to also look up and go, okay, I never need to read anything that's cozy fantasy ever again.
So describe for our people who don't know that term, what's cozy fantasy?
Low stakes and high fantasy. That's honestly the pitch. It's more mundane issues or problems, things that are just kind of like you're there for the vibes of fantasy, but you're not there for the big epic clashes of the good versus evil. Really, is like some of that might be there a little, but it's something that's just a comfy story in a fantasy setting.
Okay. This book did commercially do well, and then he's got a prequel novel out.
Bookshops and Bone Dust.
Yep. And I understand he's signed now with a publisher for 3 more standalone novels in the same world. So it's not a series, just more books with low stakes in high fantasy.
If this is your jam, you love it. And there's something to be said about wanting to still have the escapism of fantasy and having this world, not wanting to get into the deep and the dark and all the various big themes. You don't necessarily always want a serious book. You just want something that you can just chill with the characters and enjoy.
Okay.
I don't think you're that kind of reader. I don't think that's what you're looking for.
Mm.
And so I think you're going to read it and go, that was nice. I'm never reading something like this again.
Are there any other reasons I might not like this particular book?
Yeah. I know you sometimes can be a little bit funky with like same-sex relationships,
I've
and
been
that
broadening
exists.
there.
So I don't, and that's where I'm like, sometimes that can rub you the wrong way. Sometimes it's fine. So be
It
aware
always
it
okay.
exists.
It always kind of depends on the author's approach to it. If it's just a thing, it's just an element, it tends to be okay. If I feel like the author's writing with an agenda and trying to push it on me, I've only really had one author I read that really I felt like that.
I
We've
don't
talked
think
about
it's going
that
to be an
before.
issue for it, but I mention it because you asked if there's anything that like will be impediments to your reading
Okay,
experience, and I'm
thank
like,
you.
that exists.
All right, very good. All right, another thing for us to talk about. This is some randomness. Let people get to know us a little better.
Okay.
What are 1, 2, maybe 3 things that you're good at, but it took a lot of hard work and practice to become good at?
See, there's a thing where like I could just have really low self-confidence, and you could have stopped at 3 things you're good at and go, nope, don't got it.
Oh, come on. Come on.
I've been spinning my wheels thinking on this one, going, what do I got? And more importantly, what do I got that I haven't mentioned before? Do you got anything prepared?
There's lots of things that could go in here. One of them that I'll say, and it plays off in what we do on here, is I'm actually a pretty good public speaker. I do a lot of
Really?
presenting. I do presentations. I
No.
do these things here. I don't say and a lot. Will come out once in a while, but those are things I've trained myself for. I've learned about making eye contact. I use appropriate gestures. These are all skills you develop over time. So
See,
that's one of mine. It didn't just happen. I
the
practiced, I
wild
trained.
thing,
I have a degree in this sort of stuff.
the wild thing is I'm not a bad public speaker, but when you look at our content, minus any editing you've done, I
A
am
lot of editing I
terrible.
may have done.
I'm terrible. It's mostly because I don't view this as public speaking. I view it as I'm talking with my dad here and
Which is
thinking
fine.
as I
People come
go
for
and
that.
whatever.
Your sister can't watch our content. And it's
Good.
not because of you, it's because of me. She's like, you don't really sound like yourself. You get this whole way of talking that's just
You do have a little bit of your like almost hokey performance-ness that like it's still genuinely you and thoughts and opinions, but it's also the I'm cringing because that's my dad doing this.
It's presentation mode.
Yeah, never fun. Um,
I'll give you another one. This is an easy one. I type really well. It took years and years to get there, though. I didn't really become a skilled typist until I had to teach it. As a technology teacher teaching keyboarding, I finally quit looking at my fingers. Yeah. Mark knows it. Mark knows it. Teacher Jim. That's right. I don't have to teach anymore. Now I'm higher up in the levels and support others who teach, but I did it for years. And thank goodness, with all the work I do for editing and stuff, all the background typing of notes and all, I do that very fast.
Okay, my first thing, I make a mean stir fry.
Hey,
Now,
you said it took you a lot of practice to get there, so you did a lot of bad
ultimately,
stir
I'm
fries?
just going like cooking in general. I'm surprisingly good. But we add in, took plenty of practice.
Mm-hmm.
And rejecting the things that made you good at cooking, because I don't like to measure or use a recipe or any of the. I like to cook with my soul,
Okay.
but therefore it requires some trial and error sometimes. And I'm pretty good at it now.
All right.
But there were definitely some times on like an electric burner in a dorm room where we weren't supposed to have one, trying to cook things and make things that did not end well.
You have not had bologna until you've had it cooked on top of a toaster oven in a dorm room.
That being said, I've made mac and cheese in a coffee pot. So I've gone pretty low.
Was it good?
Yeah, it was pretty fun. It was pretty good.
That's that Kraft mac and cheese, though.
I think I used like the Auntie Anne's or something, but yeah.
Yeah,
Or the
man, your
Annie's mac
mom
and
hates
cheese.
that so bad. Uh, I make mac and cheese now with a beautiful bechamel sauce that I create from scratch, and she actually likes macaroni and cheese now. But that stuff out of the box, yeah, I could eat a whole box of Kraft mac and cheese in college, and that was a meal. It was good. I loved it. I could eat SpaghettiOs too. She can't stand any of these things.
Thing two, and this is, it's not so much that like I had to work specific skills really, really hard, but more the things that I do now and do well. When I started, I couldn't do them or couldn't do them that way or had to adjust. And just over time, I got better.
Yeah.
And so I wish I did it more. I'm decent at disc golf. I don't know why.
I was thinking that. Yeah.
But like we went out when you guys were here a while ago. And I hadn't thrown a disc in like a year. I was rusty. But we walk out and I tell you, yeah, I'm rusty. It's not going to be great. And then I hit the basket with the first throw. So I'm not bad.
You're not bad.
I think we're up to your number 3.
Well, my number 3 is working with technology. But it's stuff I spent a lot of time. I actually read manuals. I've studied. I've watched all sorts of videos. I've gotten into the guts of computers. It's not just, oh yeah, I intuitively know how to do everything with technology. I've put a lot of time into it, but I also enjoy. I mean, I geek out over tech stuff. Not PCs. PCs are of the devil. I don't like PCs, but anything Mac related, I am here for it. Anything network related, internet related, that stuff tends to be platform agnostic. So I'm good with all those sorts of things. I am more leaning into using the software side of things. It's kind of cool. I can deal with some hardware stuff too, but I love troubleshooting. I could totally be a call tech guy and help someone work through. I certainly have done that for people for free. I'm not offering. Those of you watching,
No.
don't contact me when your PC won't open up anymore.
I definitely inherited your walk up and go, hey, can you show me the problem? And then the problem just fixes itself.
It's aura,
great.
we call it.
It's great.
Yeah. The aura, your mother hates.
You get to be known for being good at tech without ever actually doing anything.
She can't get something to work. She asked me to come look at it. I do exactly what she did and it works fine. And she gives me that look.
It's like, I never knew what the problem was, but I fixed it. I guess.
Yep.
So my last one here is something that is kind of well known about me, I think. And I probably even in this space. And I hesitate to toot my own horn because any of my players can jump in and tell me that I'm wrong.
Oh, I know where you're going.
I think I'm a pretty good DM.
Yay.
And I've been doing it for consistently, like every week, over 5 years. I've been you started me on D&D when I was in 3rd grade. It's something that I've spent time reading, and through that then also like world building and making stories and helping guide things, but also then like interpersonal management to make sure the table's running smoothly and okay. I run a table with 9 players. It's big. And it's mostly, if not all, virtual. So I'm seeing these people and having to account for, yeah, if they're going to be on their phone, that's totally okay, and figure things out. And with that comes a lot of weird tool shenanigans of having to figure out different systems to run maps or programs. Like any good DM, I'm bad at coming up with names on the fly, but that's how we get characters like Ben. Just Ben. His name's just Ben.
It's Ben.
He stuck around.
It's short for Washabenopolis.
Nope, it's just Ben. I stuck with it. Nope, that's just his name now.
Cool.
But okay. I think I'm decent. That's as good as you're gonna get from me.
That'll work. All right, here's another one. Something to throw out for our viewers. Name something you once did that may surprise a lot of viewers. Something they wouldn't guess that you did this. I've got one while you think.
I just had to pull back because I was going to say something. I'm like, I don't think that can get me in legal trouble, but I should probably avoid saying that on here. I could be cagey about it. It's fine. You go for it though.
Okay. Well, I've got two. None of mine are illegal. I once collected hubcaps. I had a whole collection. I had the walls all mounted with hubcaps, just the pretty chrome ones. No, I didn't steal them off cars. They used to fall off cars, people, and hubcaps would be along the sides of roads and laying in parking lots, and I would chase them down and collect them. Getting married was the end of my hubcap collection. Your mother did not make me get rid of them. I wisely decided they don't fit in a married household, and they went away. But my first date with your mother was to go get a hubcap, and she came along with me. Mark is one of my college friends. He remembers hubcaps. He legit, there's my proof, evidence. I was a hubcap collector.
They're a little bigger than stamps.
And that first date with my wife was partly because Mark was too busy to go with me to get a hubcap.
Thanks, so Mark. Thanks for having a life.
That's right. I owe it all to Mark.
No. I owe it all.
So that was one. I've got one other, but share yours.
I'm gonna be a little cagey so as to not get in any legal trouble. But I did. I was once at a fairly famous historical site, both within history and religion.
This is very cagey. Okay.
And noticed a little bit of damage to said building. So I happened to take a piece of the crumbling building to bring back from another country and give to my friend who was going to seminary. And that's as far as I can go because I don't know what statute of limitations or if anybody would ever care.
We might talk off air. I'm curious. I know what I'd guess this came from. I know what I'd guess, but yeah, I won't get you in trouble.
I was an adult when this happened, so I can't even plead that.
My last one is just some randomness. I don't talk about it much anymore, but years ago, I taught Taekwondo to people. I not only was a black belt, I was also a trainer. So I mostly trained kids, but also I had adults come to my classes. And that was cool. It helped me stay on top of things and be a little more fit that I'm training everybody else. I was a school principal at the time, so in my day job, I sat around a lot. This gave me fitness. So teaching Taekwondo, that was cool.
Yeah.
All right.
What do we got next?
Let's talk books.
I like books.
All we're going to do for the rest of this episode, unless something else comes up or a question comes at us, is talk some book-related things. I've got 3 series that I'm going to be talking about reading in the near future that I want to know which one you would be the most eager to read. Now, these are on my mind because of an episode that's going to drop tomorrow. It's all prepped already. If you're a Patreon of ours, you already have access to it, where I revealed 25 of the next things I'm soon going to be reading that I'm excited about. So these are from that list.
Before you list them,
yeah,
I need to establish you sent me this list. So I've seen this ahead of time.
Right.
But I looked at this list, said, I've never heard of any of these, and then proceeded to not look any of them up because I went, no, I want him to struggle to try and give me a definition of what are these going to be about so that I have just that to go off of.
Okay, that's fair. I like it. Most of our viewers will have heard of one of these, maybe 2 of these. I doubt anyone has heard of all 3 of them. So first, and probably the best known, in our
I
circle.
know the author.
Mark Lawrence's The Library Trilogy. Now, there's only 2 books out. He has shared the title of the third. He hasn't revealed the cover yet, but it's getting close. So the series will end soon. Our Discord buddy, Gentle Giant Jason, big fan of this series.
It's about a library.
Sorta. I like Mark Lawrence. I've been talking about his books recently. I look forward to reading this. So it has to do with books and a little bit of people trying to control access to books and how things go badly when you try to restrict getting a hold of books.
Okay, so we're currently sitting in like Fahrenheit 451 territory.
And I understand there's some time travel involved, a little bit of magic maybe. I don't know a lot about them because I hate spoilers.
Gotcha. So it's Fantasy 451.
Then Kim Stanley Robinson's Mars trilogy, which
Takes place on Jupiter.
Wrong, but you can see it from there. So obviously it's about Mars. It's about the colonization of Mars and some of the politics around there and all. These 3 books actually are award-winning books. So the first one won the Nebula Award for Best Novel, Best Science Fiction Novel of the Year. The next 2 won the Hugo Award for Best Fantasy or Science Fiction Novel of the Year. So big time. These were written back in the 90s. You're not always sure about 90s books.
Mm-hmm.
It has a sequel. There's a 4th book. So not really
so
part
it's not
of
a
the
trilogy anymore. But they still call it a trilogy, even though it's 4 books.
It's a follow-up that came out in 2003, so a little later. Anyways, people rave about them. They've been recommended me to a lot. They are clear science fiction and lean a little more, I think, towards the hard science fiction. Final one, Peter Klein's X-Heroes series.
Okay.
This is just fun. It's not on the same level, probably, as the Library Trilogy and the Mars Trilogy. It's not winning awards. It's kind of a genre mashup, 5-book series on some former broken down superheroes being the ones on the front line to protect humanity from hordes of the undead.
Mm.
So you've got flawed superheroes against zombies. What's not to love?
You had me, and then you lost me.
So that's what you got. The Library Trilogy, the Mars Trilogy, the X-Heroes series.
Don't get me wrong, the X-Heroes sounded potentially interesting, and then you went, it's a zombie apocalypse book, and I went, I don't really care. A lot of people love it. I don't. It's not my
You are prejudiced
pinnacle of interest. I'm okay saying that I don't necessarily love looking for that in books. It does not like it fully turns me off of a book, but it's like, So I'm gonna sit here and stick to my guns, or rather my pages, and go with the Library Trilogy because it sounds like books. I like books.
All right. Those of you who are with us in chat, if you have an opinion on those, I'd love to hear it. Love to see it. Those of you watching this later, drop it in the comments. Which one would you be the most excited about? Because I'm curious. I don't know which one I'm going to read first. Right now, I listed them in the order they appear on my TBR. But I get a little fluid. I mood pick sometimes.
I don't know. When was the last time you read a zombie book? You might need your fix.
It's not been too long ago, has it? I don't remember. But I just squeeze zombie books in every once in a while anyways.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm kind of feeling triggery, itchy about the X-Heroes series because I think it's going to be fun. All right, to wrap up our time here today, what are we reading right now? Let's highlight this. Of course, we are rereading A Crown of Swords, Wheel of Time. We've got 8 chapters and a prologue up as episodes. People can check out our deep dives on those, and we'll have more coming soon. We're both reading Malazan, so you're on Dead House Gates.
Technically, yes.
Sorta, yeah. And I'm almost 2/3 of the way now through Dust of Dreams, book 9, which is just blowing my mind good. And the best part of the book, everyone's telling me, is like the last third. So I'm almost to where it really takes off. And I've already loved every part of it. So that's going to be good. That's pictured right there. Dust of Dreams. I just had the scene where I found out who's on the cover and what that was about. And it was like, oh, that's horrible. The horse and the guy riding it. That you
it's
can't
just
see.
the horse. The guy is not there. He's
terrible. I'm like, oh no, man. I'm also reading Kumasagi Part 1, Destin. It's a 4-book series. Leslie Shue sent me those. It was very nice of her. So I'm reading that. I'm slowly on that because I'm really stuck on Dust of Dreams.
See, I figured just because it was physical.
It's sucking up my time because I'm so close to the end of the series. But I'll get back to Kumasagi more soon. And the other thing is I'm plowing through Way of Kings, my reread. 1.2 speed, Zach. 1.2. Yeah.
I'm proud of you.
Because I'm going to be on the Fantasy Files podcast on Sunday talking about the Way of Kings. I have to get
finish
through
it. You got to finish it.
Okay. How about you?
So pictured down here.
Yep. Ship of Magic.
We've got a Ship of Magic. Getting into the live ship traders.
I am going to reread that soon. I'm going to do the whole Realm of the Elderlings now because I need to give it another shot.
So far, it's been fine. I'm okay with it. Some think
it's her best work.
I think I enjoyed the start of Assassin's Apprentice better than Ship of Magic. So I think for me, starting with that trilogy was the better call for Realm of the Elderlings. Like I said, I finished Malice last night, so today we're starting Valor.
John Gwynn.
There's a little piece of me that goes, how do you spell Valor? Is it 1L or 2L?
It is just one. But
and
you see two because of the axe?
Yeah, at which point I'm like, why didn't they just keep the axe for the L? I feel like that is fitting. Would have worked. Plus, it would have been more symmetry of just 2 letters on each side.
And some people would have seen it and gone,
Veor?
What's Veor?
Yeah, some people, surprisingly, even when looking at books, not always the most literate. But then, as you mentioned, I'm still slowly working through Dead House Gates. Okay. Those are my 3 on different platforms right now.
All right. Good stuff. Lots of fun. It's always great to have fun things to read, and we never seem to lack for it. There's so much to look at.
Eventually, I'll get back and finish up the Merlin cycle of the Chronicles of Amber, because I still got a couple of those sitting left. But
okay,
the book's sitting on my desk, but I have to get back to and actually go, okay, I'm going to read a couple 100 pages and knock out 2 books. Let's go.
Boom. Very good. All right. I think that's good enough.
Yeah.
Good enough for our live stream. Thanks to those of you who've been with us, hanging out and watching. Appreciate it. Especially Mark. Longtime friend. Best man in my wedding.
Thanks, Mark, for helping me exist in a roundabout way.
That's just, I don't know that I want to think about that, Zach, but all right, we'll let you go. Again, everybody, look down in the show notes for the ways you can get together, connect with Zach and I. We've got our Discord server. There's an invitation to join down there. Social media links, mostly Twitter. X is where you'll be able to easily connect with us on social media. We do have a Patreon. Feel free to join us there. We appreciate all of you who are already Patreon supporters, who have already been underwriting us with a little bit of financial support each month. And keep liking. If you haven't subscribed, please do, because monetized, baby. Thank you so much for helping us. We wouldn't be there if y'all weren't watching our content. Final shot, Zach. Anything else you want to say? Final shot.
You said final shot.
Take it. He did. All right. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll talk to you next time.